They're coming to get you, Barbara.
We found a lot of suspicious things out in that cemetery.
Malignant demons who issue forth from their graves in the dead of night to attack their victims and drink the blood from their veins.
You're invited to my party if the ghosts are waiting, so won't you join me?
All right, cultists, welcome back to yet another Vagrant Fear Discussions. This week I have with me Iowa's own Gravecore, metal band hailing from the Cedar Falls, Waterloo area. Iowa, as far as I know, they're all Iowa born. That's where they hail from. They've got a long list. So without getting too deep into it, Gravecore, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Perfect.
Excited to be here.
Excellent. Now this is just three of the members. So let's start with the end. We'll start with who I'm going to guess is more or less the lead. You can't see, but you will see on the video. We'll start on what is my left with a star over the eye. Why don't we introduce ourselves going down the line and tell us what part of the band are you?
Yeah, so with the X on the eye, that's me. I'm Cody Crypt. I play bass and do lead vocals.
And I am Tracy Von Crypt. I do lead vocals.
Bryce Levine, play lead guitar and do vocals as well.
Awesome. Now, like I said, there's only three of you here. How many total are in Gravecore?
So we recently, for the first time in our history, became a 7-piece band.
The Magnificent Seven.
Yeah. Traditionally,
go.
we had always kind of been a 6-piece, but the talent was ripe, so we had to make sure that we jumped on it. But we also have Scott A.D. on rhythm guitar. We have Nick Black on keys. We have Colin Rott on second lead guitar, and we have J.J. Wolf on the drums.
Excellent. Now, guys, if you haven't listened to Gravecore yet, they've got a thriving YouTube channel. I've seen them, or I have them on Amazon. Pretty much almost all of the streaming services, you've got music out there, because I know you've got at least the one full album that I have sitting here at the house and I've listened to. So how we'll go this way. How long has Gravecore been in existence?
So Gravecore, well, let's see. I probably thought of the initial idea, the name, the logo, concept in like 2003, 2004. But the band didn't officially launch till 2007. So we always cite 2007 as our, established year. That's when Scott and I, the only other original guy in the band, that's when we came together and went from there. So we're at 19 years right now, which is absolutely crazy to hear out loud sometimes.
Yeah, but you guys are pushing 2 decades worth of Gravecore. That's amazing. We not counting the first few years, like you said, as you were forming the ideas and putting the band itself together. Now I just want to kind of touch. So from listening to your music, what I'm hearing now is a little different than when it started. It seemed to be more, in my opinion, seemed to be kind of more of a punkish sound than more of the rock metal that it is now. Is that just over time? How did that kind of morph into what you have in the beginning to what you have now?
Yeah, I mean, great question. So yeah, the favorite band amongst Gravecore has mostly been the Misfits. Huge influence on us. So we, in the nascent days, we leaned a little heavier into that. Partially just because, it was a different lineup. There was different interests, different talent levels, and that's what we were able to do to bring the band to life at that point. And then as the years progress and members come and go, and you get new members in and they bring new influences and, new abilities, more talent, stuff like that, it helps you grow, right? Like you can head into these other directions that you may not have been able to, since day one. So, and you learn more tricks and you develop as a songwriter and, yeah, and then you just keep adding it all in and adding it all in. So
I remember I was in high school in a metal band when these guys first started, and we used to play shows together. And I don't know, like being a metal guy in high school or whatever, and these guys are punk rock, which, a lot of people didn't hear about, but, we saw it and we lived through it and whatever. And a few years later, like he asked me to join, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this punk rock thing, that's new to me. But obviously joining, and then JJ, he's a little bit more of a metal player, so like those influences come with it. And we tried really kind of sticking to that formula, but we eventually just kind of kept opening up about wearing our influences on our sleeves. It's not just punk rock, right? It's Guns N' Roses, it's Wasp, it's all these bands. So yeah, that's how the songs kind of evolved. And then there was one point kind of in the middle of that period where Cody mentioned something to me like, anything that you write, whether it's gravecore or not, could be gravecore. We can put it through that machine and like everyone can put their touch on it. And like, I think that really opened us up as songwriters. So
yeah.
We're not really afraid to touch anything now. So
Awesome.
we'll go whatever feels right.
Yeah.
Awesome. That kind of semi answers a question. I was wondering, is there a lead lyricist to the band? But Christ, you mentioned that everybody kind of has their influence, and you, like you said, you kind of run it through the machine. So do you have like a lead songwriter, or is it really like you mentioned, everybody brings something to the table and you kind of shop it?
Little column A, little column B. Right?
Yeah, so a lot of times, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but like an idea, like the song will start with like an idea, right? Like I'm like, hey, I want to call a song Death Ride 77. I kind of want it to sound like this. I'm mostly the lead lyricist at this point. So like, and then I'll be like, here you go, Christ. What do you think? And then he's like, oh, dude, I got this. Check this out. And then him and I really work together on everything. And we bring the foundation of the song to life, right? Like here's, the parts, the basic parts, here's the structure, here's the lyrics. And then we bring it to the band and we say, all right, guys, like here's the song. And then, Tracy starts singing it and, she puts that sauce on it and brings it to life. And JJ, he hears it and, he starts playing drums his way. And then that's what we mean by putting it like through the gravecore machine, right? Like may start with an idea that I have and then go to him and I to make this whole thing, but it wouldn't sound like it sounds unless every single person put their touch on it. So
yeah, anything's free game. It's just, we just happen to start on so many ideas together. Like he'll come up with a song idea, and that to me, it inspires a riff. I remember one time we got called to make like a blues song, blues inspired song, which is like so different than what we've done before. But he had this name. He's like, Our Love Is As Dead As You. And he gave me like 3 titles, and I'm just like, that's it. And I went to bed and woke up the next day with the chorus in my head. And I don't write fucking, sorry. I don't, you can bleep
That's
that.
all right. We got a beat machine. We'll add it.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
I was
it's gonna
say,
work overtime.
I was gonna say I don't write vocal melodies, but I had that chorus melody
Yeah.
in my head. So
Yeah.
that was really fun to bring to life. And we were under the gun. I think we wrote and recorded that song in 1 week.
Yeah, so we had 1 week. The place where we write and record our music, they were like, hey, we're putting together a blues compilation. It's very outside of the realm for you guys, but any interest? And I'm like, yes, we're in. Because I've learned at this point, just say yes to everything and then figure it out, right?
Sure.
So I go to the band and I'm like, hey, so we're going to be on a blues comp. And they're like, what? And then, I said, hey, Chris, here's 3 song titles, and he's like, it's got to be this one. Next day, sends me parts. I'm like, love this. And then a day later, we taught the band, and then another day after that, we hit the studio and recorded it all in one shot. And a week later, it was mixed and mastered, and we had a song that didn't exist a week prior. So,
Nice.
And it's now my favorite song to perform live.
it is, yeah, and it's still in the set. We love it. So
Yeah, it
Nice.
sticks out. Like we try and keep the set dynamic because, like, as you said, like there's a lot of different from point A to point B where we are now. There's a lot of different sounds. So like we try and keep the set lively, dynamic. So it's not just full bore 100%, but also, you know, kind of going back to your question, like writing songs and stuff, like there's never anything off limits. Like anything these guys bring, you know, it could start with anyone's idea. And it's really interesting, like lately starting this as a 7-piece, like I'm really starting to see like, okay, this Gravecore blender is bigger than ever because I don't even play that riff that I wrote. You know, Colin came up with like these 2 rock riffs that go over it. So it's like that has transformed into this whole new thing. And it's just, it's really exciting. So really looking forward to playing that one.
got to evolve, man. If you're around 19 years, you got to keep it fresh. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Now, kind of along those lines. Now, the earlier stuff, like you said, Cody, you were the main vocal, but lately it's been more Tracy. So, Tracy, when did you kind of come into the band and kind of become more of the front? Not always, obviously, but you weren't. I don't know. Were you there in the beginning the whole time, or
It was a dark and stormy night.
I should also point out, I write the lyrics. I don't sing them. So we had a former singer named Arlie Vaughn that Tracy took over for. I can't sing. So
fair enough.
We could sure
he goes in the
shout,
back.
yeah. We yell the background vocals. And that's
There we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe I kind of stepped in temporarily on keys and vocals for a hot minute. I've been in the background for quite some time on gigs and things like that. But yes, I think it was around 2021 I took over officially on lead vocals. And then yeah, I've just been kind of going for it ever since. But yeah, I think there's just a difference between Arlie's voice and my voice, obviously. But I think they're both very awesome in their own right. I think our styles are similar, but they're also pretty different. The way that like I'm very loud and I project quite a bit. And in case you didn't know,
I didn't know that when I went to the Octopus to see you. I never got that from you.
I'm telling you, buddy, never get in an argument with her. You will not be heard.
like, you want to do this right now? No,
Really noted.
But yeah, Arlie is awesome, and I think talking about Arlie, and for Chaos for a Cause 5, the one that we did this past year, Arlie actually made a surprise appearance at the end, and it had been a while since I've gotten to see Arlie. But getting to rehearse those a couple weeks prior to Chaos for a Cause 5 with Arlie was so fun because he reminded me of like just how much fun you can have on stage, because that was his energy that he would bring to the stage. He was just spur of the moment, just like fly by the seat of your pants, just live your best life on that stage, man, and like just throw down. And so I really pulled a lot of that from him because, you know, being behind the scenes for as long as I was, I really just watched a lot of what he did, and I'm pulling from a lot of that I would see over the years as well. So
Arlie was he was the perfect front man for like our hardcore punk roots. Like he was the perfect singer for Gravecore in that moment of time. And him and I, you know, now I'm the primary lyricist, but in the old days, him and I wrote things together. Like we co-wrote a lot. And when Tracy took over on vocals, you know, he was perfect for that hardcore punk thing. And then she is perfect for like the big arena rock side of things. And it took me a minute as a lyricist to learn how to change gears and be like, you know, for Arlie, I could write things that are like, nah, you know, like rapid fire type stuff. And like for her, I'm like, oh wait, I can like I can lean
bit more
into this,
melody.
yeah, talent and stuff. So it was cool. I had to exercise my own abilities a little bit just to be able to accommodate it. So
He has to keep up, I'm just asking.
But hey, isn't growing fun?
It is.
Now, Tracy, you made one mention, and I kind of want to segue into this. You mentioned Chaos for a Cause, which is now how many years? Well, first off, what is Chaos for a Cause?
Yeah, so this is a fundraising concert that we put on every year with Rock 108, located they're based out of like Cedar Rapids, but they have I think all of Eastern Iowa. They have a big territory. But the goal of Rock 108's Chaos for a Cause is to raise money for Iowa Giving Crew, Operation Give Birds. And what they do is they donate full Thanksgiving meals to families in need during the holiday season. No questions asked. They're just like, hey, if you need a meal, they'll hook you up. So to date, the organization Chaos for a Cause has raised over $50,000 for Iowa Giving Crew and for charity. And that's over, I think we're up to, is it 5,000?
I don't know, family. 5 years.
5 years we've been doing it, but I think we've fed over like thousands of people at this point, which is just really cool to think about. Just to be able to use rock and roll as a tool to help those in need just is really inspiring to us.
That is amazing. You said Chaos for a Cause 5. You said you guys have been doing this for 5 years. Did I hear you right that this was kind of your idea, or was this someone who brought you into it? How
it was birds. I believe it was we donated back in 2021.
I mean, dual answer to that question. So the first Chaos for a Cause, it's a brainchild of Gravecore's, was actually in 2008. And we did it to help bring a local family home. We put on a rock concert, raised money. And then a few years later, a former member of the band, his wife was putting on a concert, and we used that title again to raise money for another charity. So when Rock 108 had started playing some of our songs, largest active rock station in the state or on this side of the state or something like that. Fantastic. But they took an interest in us, and I was like, hey, like, I know you guys work with local charities. Would you ever be interested? And they were like, yeah, let's go. And so we kind of, officially relaunched, Chaos
in partnership
or
with
whatever,
them.
in partnership with Rock 108. But
no, that is really amazing. I love the fact that you use your talents, you use your fan base, you use what you have, you partner with somebody, and you really are giving back to the community. Whether they listen to you or not, you are giving back, which
Absolutely.
is to use your music. And music is always been sort of a powerful tool. I mean, music has always been a huge part of my life, just in all sorts of facets. But to see that you guys are just more than getting on stage, playing music, having fun, you are more than that. You're putting more of your heart and soul into not only your music, but how you are affecting the community. And that is really amazing, which then maybe that is perhaps part of the reason why, as we move into this, you are an Iowa award-winning band, are you not?
Yeah, we are two-time Iowa Music Award Rock Band of the Year for two consecutive years.
2024 and 2025, plus 2023 Iowa Music Awards Female Vocalist of the Year.
We have all the hardware.
Of all female vocals from all genres, mind you,
That
not
was
just
pretty
rock.
cool.
And 2025 Music Video of the Year as well. So we've taken home 4 awards. So
Awesome. Now, was it Hellfire Boulevard, your
Correct.
music video? Yes.
Yep.
Guys, YouTube, Hellfire Boulevard, a lot of fun, high octane, great vocals. You get snippets of them in it. You get the story of the basically car chase, more or less, of the video. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Check that out, guys. And I'll also put a link on that'll take you straight to it, which will obviously lead you into more of their website, and we'll just shove you down a rabbit hole of hard rock and have fun. So, but now
it's not a bad place to be.
No, you guys, and like I said, I've listened to you kind of the album that I got from you at the the Octopus. I've listened through all of that and the changes that it's all gone, because it does kind of have a smattering. What was it, 10 years or so? Kind
15 years of fright.
Yep.
Mhm.
15 years of fright.
of
That's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah, so it runs all over. So now you are an Iowa-based band, but that's not the only place you guys have played.
Yeah.
You've toured a bit outside of the state, and I think, was it sometime last year, I'm forgetting the date, but did you not play at the Whiskey A Go-Go out in California with LA Guns? Is that
Yeah,
right?
we did. Yes, that was fantastic. It was the Across the Wasteland tour last summer, and we made our way across the wasteland out west, with the final performance of that tour being at the Whiskey A Go-Go in Los Angeles, California, which was an amazing experience for us.
So
Getting
how
to,
did,
oh, go ahead.
no, I was just going to ask you, how did you guys get from Cedar Falls to? I'm assuming you didn't crash the place. You were invited to come out and play out there in California with them. How did that come about?
Yeah, so we used to tour a lot more in the early days of the band, in the hardcore punk days that we were talking about earlier. And then for a lot of years, kind of in the middle there, we did just keep it around the state, playing around Iowa, which, great music scene here in the state. So, lots of opportunities there. So, and then, last year we're kind of like, hey, it's, outside of like going to like Illinois or something like that, like, let's get out. Let's get out there further. We get plays all over the country. We get plays all over the world. We were played in like 76 countries worldwide last year, which is, crazy. But yeah, so we contacted the booking agent for the Whiskey, and they, hey, we got these shows available. We've actually shared the stage with the LA Guns multiple times over the years, and we were like, let's do it again. Let's do it in LA this time. So, we selected that show, and we just routed the whole tour around getting out there. Being a kid that grew up, not just listening to like, the Misfits and Black Flag and, the Ramones, like the punk rock side of stuff. I was into, Kiss and Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and Wasp. And so I've heard the stories, for decades of, the Sunset Strip and the Whiskey A Go-Go and, all the greats, right? So it's a long time dream to get to set foot on that stage. And man, I cannot convey how magical it is to pull onto the Sunset Strip for the very first time in your life, and you're driving down and you're like, oh my gosh, there's the Viper Room and there's the Rainbow and the Roxy, and then you see the marquee for the Whiskey A Go-Go, like there it is, and then you're like, oh, and our name is on the marquee as well. Like, it is just a surreal experience.
It's like full circle. There's this picture that I reshared from way back in the early Gravecore days before I was ever in the band. I think it was 2008. So I was still that little scrawny high school kid. And like I went out to see Gravecore at the Reverb, which is the local rock
legendary venue here in
the state. And like we all thought it was just such a big deal because you got the marquee with Gravecore on it.
We were headlining our first Saturday night at, this club that we all grew up going to see shows at, and like, oh, we made it, right? Yeah. Like we're headlining on a Saturday night at the Reverb, and
to see that, and then the Whiskey like side by side, like that's kind of a cool growth.
It was incredible, and you get in and you're just the history is intoxicating, and you stand on the stage. I mean, everything is just over in a moment, right? Like it went so fast, but yet it's one of the few things in life, like I can still, even though it's fast, I can recall it, like everything.
It was beautiful, man.
Standing there, I'm like, Jerry Only from the Misfits stood here. Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue stood here. Duff McKagan from like all my heroes, right? Like Rachel Bolan from Skid Row. Like all these guys have stood right here and played bass, and now I am standing here and playing bass. Like it was incredible. getting goosebumps talking about it,
And
man.
mentioning that, we also we did make a point to stop by the Rainbow while we were there on the Sunset Strip, and that was so cool. And we went into the Hollywood Vampire Lair, and I was like, oh,
Oh yeah.
like before we walked in, there was a group of people in there, and like they were like just about to leave, and they were like, this is a special thing. Like they were like, do you remember what they said? They were like,
No,
you
I
can feel it in here or something. I was like, really? And like I was like, I'm sold. Like, so we went in there, and you could just feel, it was just like you could just feel the like magic of that specific place, dude.
So that, I mean, then that is another thing. Like I'm a huge Alice Cooper fan, and the Hollywood Vampires Drinking Club, him and John Lennon, and
All
whoever.
sorts.
Yeah. I've heard him tell that story a million times. And then there you are. There's the hand painted sign that they made still hanging up. And next thing you know, you're just like sitting up in this little cup.
Attic
Like it's tiny.
thing.
It's not glamorous, but like it's like this is where they just
real.
came and drank. And I'm sitting here where Alice Cooper sat in like 1972 or
It was
whatever.
awesome.
Yeah.
So
man.
you all were walking amongst gods at that point.
Truly, yes. It was
Yeah.
so awesome.
Yes.
It was just a very surreal experience. And yeah, we were able to get out to Vegas while we were out that way too. And it was just very, very fun. Very fun. And we're looking forward to doing more of that this coming year too. So
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Yeah. It leads me. What are your future plans? What do you have coming on tap? I mean, so you said you're hoping to do more of that this year. Do you guys have another tour on the way, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, so I can't really give specifics yet, but we're in the middle of how do I want to put this? Lining up dates that kind of span from the East Coast, New York City, all the way back to LA on the West Coast. So we're kind of looking at a smattering of dates throughout the rest of the year. So, but nothing I can talk about.
Eventually we're going to play on the moon though too. So we're very much looking forward to that as well.
That one we can
Excellent.
talk.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that'll
announce
be
our moon gig. Yeah.
yeah, that'd be great with your projection ability there,
See?
Tracy.
They'll
I
hear
think we
it.
will still
Yes.
be able to hear.
Thank you.
You will break the
Thank
sound
you.
barrier with your vocals, and
Oh,
yes,
Yeah, you're not
The-
wrong.
the-
You're not wrong.
planets will align, the waves will calm down, everything will. Yeah, we'll be waiting for that.
Yes.
Tracy Kripp, the cure all for global warming,
You're welcome. No.
right? So that is amazing. It really does sound like you guys have the history you have, and to think that they're like, oh, this is a local band, this is an Iowa band. You don't, if your name's not Slipknot, people are like, oh, what do they got? But you guys definitely have that ability, have that rise, that power. I mean, you've got the awards behind you got the history behind you got the vocals, the lyrics, everything about it. And like I said, guys, I saw them live, even on a small little stage in a small little venue. They have a power that just, it's there. It doesn't matter the size, whether it's a large arena, whether it's this 80 seater dive bar on the Cedar Falls Hill, which my college alma mater, but they've got it. So I definitely recommend looking them up. And I will have to say that I believe if the stars align, you will be able to see them here. So we are looking at it, trying to bring everybody together and everything like that. But I'm not going to divulge too many secrets with that either. Just we got to keep some stuff. But yeah. So Christ, you've been a little quiet. So you were in the band before. You took some breaks, and you came back.
Yes.
Why did you come back?
He was asking himself that same question.
Yeah,
Did you have your fill?
Yeah. I mean, so the thing is, like, we all grow up and our priorities change, and it's like music was never a priority that went away. It's just I consumed it in a different way. I started building kind of a studio at home and started getting into different styles of music and songwriting and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I talk to Cody almost every other day because we're still best friends. I still write with the band, like songwriting's my favorite. So like I always got that feel from Gravecore, but it was the constant moving and rehearsals and touring, like all that stuff, you know, it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of commitment. I couldn't do it for a few years, but it got to the point where it's like, I really miss doing this. I really miss hanging out with my friends. I miss creating art. And it's just been an absolute pleasure to be back because, I mean, last couple of years, I'd help, you know, we'd do that initial session, whatever. We'd write a song in 4 hours. And then 6 months later, I would hear it, you know, being released. And it's like, oh, okay, this sounds a little different, but it's awesome. Like I wasn't part of that whole journey. And it's that part I miss, you know, like being able to see all the bells and whistles come together and seeing Colin put in his part, Scott putting in his part, and like the recording experience. Like today we just did drums and bass, but we were still there playing guitar and like making sure like the sounds were putting together. Like, I mean, obviously we trust their judgment, but it's cool to be there for it and like give our 2 cents. And it's just, yeah, it's a good time. So, yeah, that's why I came back, you know, like it's music, I obviously is forever, but like the ability to do this live and, you know, play shows and make that music with your friends, that's not forever. So it's, you know,
that's it's kind of inspiring to hear that. Yeah, you did it. It was fun. Life got kind of in the way for you, but you never, you know, threw away the dream. You just kind of put it on a shelf for a little while, which honestly, a lot of people don't or can't. You know, life steps in, takes over, and then that's it. They're done. But it's, you know, it's amazing. And seeing you briefly on that stage, you know, when I saw you before, and now that you're back with them all, it's great that you picked that dream right up and you came back on stage, and it seems like they're happy with you being there again.
Yeah,
you know,
props to all these people for like keeping it going, because like I don't know, when life got busy for me, it's like they didn't lose sight. They kept it going and they kept it growing, and without, you know, the band here to do that, you know, who's going to do it? So like,
right.
Just happy to be able to have something to step back into. So
that's something I want to point out is, you know, even though he had to step out full time, you know, he was still active and helping behind the scenes, songwriting. You know, you can't replicate chemistry, right? Songwriting chemistry. So it was still good for me to be able to write with him. But that's something that Gravecore prides ourselves on, is there's been 11 members in this band over the last 19 years, and no one's ever really left. Like we don't call anybody former members. We call them either active or inactive, because you know, I still might bounce some lyrics off Arlie. Arlie still comes in the studio and does backup vocals like on almost all the songs that we've released since he stepped out of the band. Christ comes in and co-writes and does gang vocals. Eric Allen Poe, keys, backing vocals. He'll help coach Tracy through vocal parts and help.
Usually I have to have Zachy Massacre and Eric Allen Poe in the studio, along with this fellow right here, Cody Crypt. It's funny because he's trying to convey an idea to me, and like, I don't get it. But then when they say the same thing in their way, I'm like, I get it.
So I'm not a singer, right? I write the words, and I'll put a bunch of words because I'm a storyteller in there. I'm like, okay, so this is the story, and then she'll sing it. I'm like, it needs to be, you know, a little stankier, like more attitude.
And they're like, do this. I'm like, okay,
bigger, dirtier. And she's like, what does that mean? I'm like, I don't know, not that, but like more attitude. And then they'll go, oh, what he's looking for, you need to go to your high register, you need to go to this
false chord.
And she's like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, yeah,
they're like my translators, because I'm like, I don't get it.
Oh
man.
yeah. And Zachy Massacre, he still helps. He does a lot of the keyboard engineering on stuff. So I mean, really, it takes, you know, Gravecore might be the 6 or 7 of us that you see on stage, but it's also those other 4 or 5 members. It's also, you know, our road guy, Lurch, who runs all of our staging and lighting and stuff. It's, our merch girl, Kayla, it's
It's a big
Travis
family.
Huseman, our producer, at Catamount. And
Can't forget about Daniel Decay.
Daniel DK.
He was one of the first people we called after writing this year's songs, because we just wanted to make sure that the choruses hit hard. And that guy, he's got a great ear.
He's got a great ear. So we ran all the choruses through him, and he also will come in and do backing vocals and stuff. And then, Thrash Panda Media, like they do our video work, Axe Productions as well. And all of those people make Gravecore what it is. It's one large team. It's an army.
An army of the undead.
Sweet. That's what we like. No, it sounds like, and that's I love to hear that you guys really, you're a band, yes, but you're a family, you're a group, you're an army, and all of you have, it seems like you all give each other the equal ground. It doesn't seem like anyone is above the others, which is wonderful to see. And the fact that you guys are, go beyond being just a band. Like you said, you do the Chaos for a Cause, you give back into the community, you are what you are, and the fact that you guys are pushing 2 decades of being on there is very commendable. You see a lot that come in for a few years and then they kind of fizzle. You guys have adapted, you guys have changed, you've morphed. Like you said, Cody, every time somebody new comes in, the band changes a little and you just grow and you do that, and that is really, really awesome to see. And honestly, I'm gonna say you guys are probably going to be going for at least another 20 years. I mean, Tracy, you might be up there in a walker, but you're still going to belt him out. Cody's going to play the guitar while sitting in a wheelchair. Doesn't matter. You're in Gravecore. You might be undead. We may have to summon you back just to keep you going.
It's all
whatever.
It's part of the brand.
It's all part of the brand. It's all part of the shtick. So
the army's just going to grow.
Yeah.
That is
absolutely.
That is amazing.
To your point earlier too about you saw us at a small place, whether it's an arena or whether it's a small club, we don't care if we're on first and there's one person in the audience and it's the most tiny bar there is, or we're playing an arena, which we have also done, to 4,000 people. You're gonna get the same show. 100%, we will bring the energy every time. So
as long as we can fit all the props on there, we will. But that's the thing, those smaller stages, you can't put on the full.
You kill them with energy, man.
Yeah, exactly. You just leave nothing out there.
The songs and the energy is what needs to be at the forefront at all times. All this other stuff, it's cool, right? If we have the room, we're going to give you a giant show, right? People pay to see a show, not hear a show. So we'll do that. But if we don't have the room for it, we're still going to be in your face. And
still going to get blood on you.
Yeah. You're still
sorry.
No, I think I may have got splattered from the heart last time I was there. I'm not really sure. But I don't care. I had fun. So, but okay, I want to thank you guys so much for coming on. It was such a pleasure to keep talking to you about this, and I could probably talk to you for another hour, but I got time constraints. You got time constraints. It doesn't matter. But you know what? It's Cultists. If you haven't, I swear, look them up. I'm going to put links out so you can find them easier. I'll put a link to the Hellfire Boulevard video, to whatever it needs. Check these guys out. They're the real deal. They're amazing. They're awesome to listen to through all the last, almost 20 years worth of their music. You'll find it. You'll like it. I think it's amazing. Cody, Tracy, Christ, thank you again for coming in and talking with us. And you know what? Whatever you're doing this year, great luck. Have so much fun touring. Keep it up. We're going to look for, you got another Chaos for Cause coming up this year, right? We're doing it a 6, maybe? Hypothetically, there may be a 6. Keep your ears open. If it's around, check it out, because it's an amazing idea, and you love you guys for making that happen. That is really truly amazing of you all. So Cultists, nope. What was that?
I was
Cody?
just gonna say, you told everyone to check us out. We do have a broad catalog. Our influences range from Elvis Presley to Slayer and
everything in
and Misfits and all the stuff in between. So there's probably something for everyone in there. And I also just want to say Dave, thank you for having us. Thank you for all the support. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really been a pleasure talking to you as well. So, cultists, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week this week, and we will come back next week with yet a whole nother interview with somebody to do with fear or horror or whatever, because that's what we do. If it's horror based in any way, I love it. I'm going to talk about it. So until then, sweet dreams, Gravecore, sorry. Have a great night. We'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
Later.
Thank you.